If you guys want to know how my day's going, I just paid my ex-boyfriend $5,000 because he sued me for our dog. Originally, I didn't think that I was going to post about this, but I absolutely am because it's literally so absurd. I have my court papers here that he served to me on my birthday that I will read for you guys. But first, I think it's important to give a backstory on why I got the dog to begin with when I moved out when my ex and I broke up. We were obviously living together at the time. We were living together for a little over a year. And on the day that we broke up, he was at work. It was a Thursday, like in the middle of the day, and I was working from home. We were fighting for a good like 2 weeks, and I think we both knew like that the end was near, but he texted me on this day, on the Thursday, and was like, we need to talk when I get home. And I was like, are you breaking up with me? And he was like, yes. And I was like, okay, what are we gonna do with Bella? Bella was like 100% my first concern. That's really all I cared about at this point. But he texted back and he was like, I don't know, we'll figure it out. So he gets home from work at like noon on the day that we broke up, and he walks in the door and he was like, we're breaking up. I'm taking Bella, you're never gonna see her again. And I was like, what do you mean? You just told me that we would figure something out. And he was like, yeah, I just said that so that you wouldn't like take the dog before I got home. He was like, say your goodbyes. Like, I'm taking her to my parents' house right now until you move out of this house. And at this point, I'm like hysterically crying. Like, I think he knew that the only way that he could possibly hurt me was to like take my dog. Like, I don't even think that I can really like conceptualize for you guys how upset and just like in pain I would be if he would have taken her that day. So I'm like hysterically crying at this point. I like grabbed her by the collar and I grabbed my keys. And so I had my keys in my phone and I had Bella by the collar, and I'm like, no, I'm taking her like out the back door. Like, I was like, I'm leaving with her. You're not taking her to your parents. So I tried to take her out the back door. He slammed the door in my face. Things got really heated. I was like, I'm calling the police. And he was like, Erin, you're not calling the police. I grabbed my phone and I started dialing 911, and he took my phone away from me. So I ran up the stairs with Bella into like the guest room that I was using as my office at the time. And I like grabbed my work phone. Luckily my work phone was charged, and I called the police off of my work phone. Cops came and they let me take Bella home with me that day, but they were like, you two need to like figure it out on your own. Like, the cops aren't gonna get involved with like who gets to keep custody of a dog. So they were like, yeah, maybe in a couple of days when you like come back to get more of your stuff, you can like bring her and drop her off for a couple of days. But I'm sorry to do this. I'm gonna have to go to part 2 on how I got sued for $5,000.